Hello HOD creatives, welcome back to another exciting tutorial on how to make this beautiful and gorgeous turban cap you're seeing right here on your screen. It's a body pleated turban base and a ruffle at the top. If this is something you know you would love to learn, you just have to watch this video to the end, and if you have not hit the subscribe button, please do well to subscribe, and let's get right into the class. All right, welcome back. So these are the materials we're going to use for this project, and I'm going to be using two types of fabric: raw silk fabric and also London crepe fabric. It's a stretchy fabric, so, and a crinoline. So what we are going to do now is to take the measurement. The first measurement is to fold your fabric into two for the base, and I folded it into two, and I go ahead and take a measurement of 20 inches for the length, and for the width I have 14 inches. But if you open it up, you will have 28 inches when you open the fabric up. So this is what we have. You can, if you notice, it's on fold. So if you are not folding yours, you are making 28 inches by 20 inches. So this is for the band, and I have 23 inches, 23 inches. I needed 23 inches. This is more than 23 inches, so I'm cutting out the excess. So we need 23 inches. You can use 22 also if your fabric is very stretchy, but this is not as stretchy as raw silk. So I need 23 inches by 4.5. 23 inches by 4.5. That is what I have here. So this is for the base. Okay, and for the ruffles on it, you are going to cut out a long strip of fabric, and this long strip of fabric measures 9 inches. 9 inches by the length of your fabric. The length of my fabric is 60. Yours might be 58, yours might be 59. So you cut out 2. So I have 2 of it. So you go ahead and stitch it all the way down. You join it first. You join it to make it one long strip. So if you join it together, it's going to give you 120 inches by 9 inches. 120 inches by 9 inches. You can also use 100, you can use 80, depends on what you have. But here, if after joining it, I'll have 120 by 9 inches. So you go ahead, fold it into 2. You stitch it all the way down and bring it out to the right side. So that's for that. Then we are going to insert the crinoline inside later. So as for the body of the cap, this is the band. You just fold your band into 2 and stitch it all the way down just to keep it in place. Then you go ahead and take your turban base. So the first measurement we have here is 1.5 inches. So you go ahead and mark your 1.5 inches. 1.5 inches. You mark it all the way down. So this is the first mark. So you mark it and you rule it. So after this first mark, okay, so after this first mark, you can see this is 1.5 inches. So from that 1.5 inches, you start marking 1 inches. 1 inches. That's what you are seeing on the screen. You mark this 1 inches, you rule your line all the way down. So you rule it all till you get to the end of the fabric, and you go ahead and pleat on it, sew it just the way you are seeing. You pick each line and you sew on it. Pick each line and you sew on it till you get to the end of the fabric. So this is what we are going to do. If you don't want to use 1 inches, you can use 1.5 inches, you can use 2 inches. It's fine, but I used 1 inches here. So after then, you join your band to the cap. Remember that the band is longer, the body of the turban is longer than the band. So you have to get your midpoint and join it so that you don't have too much, you don't have one side longer than the other. As you can see on the screen, they are matching perfectly because I get the midpoint of the pleated body of the turban and the midpoint of the band, and I placed it and I sew it all the way down. So you go ahead and mark your head circumference. You can mark 11 inches, you can mark 11.5, depends on what you want, depends on your head circumference measurement. So go ahead and mark it. So here I mark 11 inches. I have 11.5 here, so I just go ahead and mark 11 inches and I sew it all the way down and I close the cap. So the next thing, this is my long strip. Okay, so you go ahead and close that edge. Okay, no, you don't have to close the edge first. You insert your crinoline inside. So fold the mouth of your crinoline into 2 or into 3, just the way you're seeing on the screen, so that it can pass through easily. You don't have to, so that you don't have to waste time while doing it. So you just pass it through the strip up all the way to the end. Pass it through the strip all the way to the end. If you have watched this video to this point and you have not subscribed, please do the needful. Do the needful, hit the subscribe button and subscribe to this lovely and beautiful channel. You have a lot to learn here. A lot. So go ahead, please hit the subscribe button and subscribe and hit the notification bell. It's free. It's free. It does not cost you anything to support your girl. Please do that. So let's continue. You go ahead and fold the edge inside and sew it. The two rough edges, because they are rough edges, the two ends or rough edges, fold it in and sew, so that you have a neat finishing. So when you're done, remember that this fabric is 9 inches. 9 inches on fold, you will have 4.5, and after sewing we have 4 inches, and our crinoline is just 3 inches. So you go ahead and push that crinoline to the edge, and then you stitch it all the way down. You stitch that 1 inches all the way down to keep your crinoline in place, so that it does not start moving. It will not show. And then again, it's optional. If you don't want to do it, please go ahead and run your gather stitch on your crinoline that you have passed into your fabric. So go ahead also and run your gather stitch on your turban base, just the way you're seeing on the screen. Run the gather stitch at the back. This is the back of the turban base. This is the back. So I'll go ahead and run the gather stitch. So when you're done, pull it tightly, secure it tightly. Before you do this, please weave your cap. Weave it, especially if it's for a client. Weave it, okay? Take it to where they weave it. If you don't have a weaving machine, weave it, so that you have a neat finishing inside and outside. So also for the other end, which is the top part, you also go ahead and pick the pleats, or the pleats you made. You just go ahead and pick it just the way you are seeing on the screen. You pick it one after the other. It's going to be at the middle. You can see I lay the cap on the floor and I make sure I get the middle, and I'm picking right on that middle. Understand? So pick on the middle, not the side. So you go ahead and pick it all the way to the band. So when you get to the band, you secure your thread. Pull it tightly, make it very tight, then secure your thread. Right. So I hope you're understanding. I hope you are getting it. I hope you are following it. Okay, so you cut out your excess thread and turn your cap to the right side, and voila, our cap is ready. So you go ahead and arrange your pleats to make it look neat and good, just the way you're seeing on the screen. So we set that aside and go ahead with our pleats. So as you can see, I have gone ahead to stitch mine also. So you just go ahead and run your gather stitch from the beginning to the end and secure your thread while running your gather stitch, so that your thread does not pull out. So you go ahead and run your gather stitch, just normal gather stitch, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, till you get to the end. And when you get to the end, you pull your thread to give you that tightness, to make it tight. So this is what we have when we were done gathering it. So as you can see, so when you are done, pull it very well, make it tight. Yes, make it tight. Then you go ahead and secure your thread. go ahead and secure your thread properly so that your gathers will not lose. So that it will not lose. So secure it very well, not once, maybe 2 or 3 times. Secure it properly. So when you're done, this is what we have. So the edge, if you have edge that is still outside, go ahead and tuck it in just the way you are seeing. Just tuck it in at the back and put it down, and so that it will not just be flying up and down. But if you want it like that, you can actually leave it. You understand? You can leave it. So but I just don't want it to be too wide, the ruffles to be too wide. So that is why I'm tucking in that edge, right? So when you're done, the next thing we are going to do now is just to place it on our cap and tack it down. That's all. That's the next thing to do. So go ahead and place. So you just go ahead and place it on your cap. But if you want to use gum, you can just apply your candle gum and gum it down to the base and also tack it. But I prefer this type of turbans. I prefer to tack and tack. It's better you tack. So you just go ahead and tack. You tack it properly. Tack every part that needs to be tacked. Just calm down, take your time and tack. Calm down, take your time and tack. So, and make sure while tacking, hide all the thread. Your thread does not have to show. Even inside, it does not have to show. There's a way you would tack, and even inside, your thread will not show. Outside, your thread will not show. So just take your time and tack. If you take your time and tack, definitely it will come out neat. So all I did was just go ahead and tack. And while tacking, make sure you check and make sure your ruffles is right at the middle. If it's in the middle, you want it. And if you also want it at the side, you can also place it at the side. Yes, so it depends on what you want. The styling of the cap is entirely your choice. So you style it the way you want. If it's to the side or to the center, go ahead. I wanted it at the center. The client wants it at the center. That is why I'm putting mine on at the center. So guys, we have come to the end of this class, and I'm sure you saw the finished look from the beginning of the video. And also, this is me trying to wear it on the dummy so that you can also see it again, right? So it's so beautiful, gorgeous, elegant, and very lovely. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now.